Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Monday morning centering prayer, contemplative meditation practice. Good to see you all here this morning. Thanks for coming. I've got something for you this morning from the Cloud of Unknowing, 13th century anonymous book that was so controversial that it was handed down secretly from hand to hand for centuries. Maybe I should have said 14th century, 1300s. So here we go. For spiritually, heaven is as close down as up, and up as down, behind as in front, and front as behind, on one side as on the other, so much so that whoever has a true desire to be in heaven, then in that moment, he, she, they, is, are in heaven spiritually. The desire to be in heaven places you in heaven. For the high road and the shortest road thither is measured by desire and not by yards. And so St. Paul says about himself and many others, quote, "Though our bodies are now on earth, nevertheless, our living is in heaven. By this he means their love and their desire, which spiritually is their life, your love and your desire are spiritually your life. And indeed, a soul is wherever it loves. A soul is wherever it loves." So if we wish to go in spirit to heaven, we need not strain our spirit either up or down or on one side or on the other side. We merely need to desire heaven with our hearts. That's all it takes, is to place your heart on the desire to be in the presence of the divine, to be in heaven now. One of the after effects of near-death experience for me is that I've never really felt like I've ever fully come back, that most of me still is on the other side. And this is what Paul says in 2 Corinthians and in Philippians. He tells us that though we live on earth, our true living, our real living is in heaven. And at the time that this happened to me, I didn't know those verses. I just experienced it and continued to experience it, which is why I continued to put my heart and soul and mind and breath into the effort of being in the presence of heaven. Where your love is where you are, spiritually speaking. So if you learn to love the divine, if you learn to love the beloved, if you learn to put your heart in the presence of heaven, that's where you are. The thing about it is that that's where you are anyway. We're always more there than we are here. It's just that we are in the samsara, in the illusion, in the maya, in the world, in the darkness, and we're blinded by it. And the practice of going inward opens the aperture of light to the divine, so that, as Meister Eckhart wrote, "Then the eye wherein God sees me, I see God." And the door that opens inside ourselves reveals the truth that's always, always already been there, that we are actually in heaven now, in spirit, above, beside, below, inside. It's just that we're fooled by the illusion to believe that we're here. The distance between here and there isn't measured in yards. It's measured in desire. What's your desire? What do you want? Do you want the temporal and impermanent, or the timeless and the permanence? That's the choice that we make. So, my friends, thanks everybody for coming this morning. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to say hi to Wendy and to Kristen and to Dream Gina. I am the way. I am the I am. The I am. That's the way in. Danielle, JT, Charlie, Peter. Hey, good morning, Peter. Glad you made it. Hey, Russell. Wow, thank you, Russell. Thank you very much. And Sheila and Colleen, MG, and Mali from London. Nice to meet you, everybody, here this morning. So, like the video if this is good. Subscribe. Certainly helps a lot. I appreciate it. So, we've recently normally begun with 3 Om chants. I hope that's working for people. Let me know if that is something that you like, to raise our energy, to raise our prana, to bring up our chi, to resonate in our heart chakras and our throat chakras and on our third eye chakra. And then after those 3 ohms, we settle down and quiet ourselves and relax our feet and our calves and our thighs and our bodies, our torsos, our shoulders, our arms, our necks. And we breathe in and we let our prayer ride on our palm like a butterfly. You don't crush it, you just let it ride there. And when your mind wanders off, as it does, you bring yourself back with your prayer and your breath. And if you want to, you can run your prayer only here and focus only here, breathing in and breathing out, and not with your imagination. You let the prayer fall away if it falls away, and observe just the breath. And you can run your mind all the way down to your root chakra, down your back. You can focus on your heart chakra, however you wish to do it. Wow, when I put my hand here this morning, it feels quite illuminated. It just tingles right to the back of my chest. All right, my friends, are you all ready? Good morning, Sommer and Anna. Om. All right, thanks. We're going to begin with the Om because we had one word. Mr. X, hey, from Indiana, and Nancy. Nice to see everybody here this morning. All right, I'm going to begin. I'm going to take my glasses off because I don't need them. And because I like darkness, I like the darkness. I like the darkness because it eliminates a sense. I'm always trying to like cut down on my sensory perceptions while I'm meditating. So I sit comfortably. Normally in my meditation, I shut my lights off. I block my ears up if I need foam earplugs. I put my phone, which I didn't do this morning, and I definitely should. I put my phone on airplane mode so I don't get any calls, and I try to reduce all my sensory inputs. So I've been wearing a mask on camera with you all because it cuts down on the light coming into my eyes. It's one less thing, peekaboo. It's one less thing for me to be distracted by. So here we begin. I'm going to set the timer for a minute and 20 minutes and 5 seconds. So we get a 5 second settle in here. And we're going to begin with Om. Resonate your chest. Oh, in your throat. Your jaw up to your third eye. Here we go, everybody. Oh, where 2 or 3 are gathered, I am there. That's the whole point of meditating together. We're more than 2 or 3. We're right now 28. And we gather our light together, our individual interior light. You are the light of the world, said Jesus. You bring your light to this collective because when we bring it collectively, we magnify and we become the I am. It becomes much bigger than our individual selves. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, I am there. So here we go. Deep belly breath, fill your lungs. During the ohms and during your meditation, just use your belly breath. breath. Meditate. You can stay quiet if you want to for as long as it takes to come back slowly back to your life, or the life on earth you have after accessing the life in heaven. Mateen, Mahath, Reverend. Thank you, Melissa. I have to look up what that means, though, my friend. Trying hard to visualize the third eye. Yeah, Peter, stop trying. Don't visualize. Visualization can become a crutch. Just place your mind there. Place your breath there. You'll see that it opens on its own with practice. You don't need to imagine anything. You may have noticed that my breath quieted way down during part of my meditation. And then when my mind wandered a little, I brought my breath back to a little more forceful, more directed by my own mind. It's a technique I use. I pause at the bottom of my breath, and I pause at the top of my breath. And I use those pauses as entries into silence. Thanks, Peter. Good, I'm glad you got it, brother. A lot of heat at your crown, rising of the chakras, opening of the chakras, rising of the kundalini. Yeah, right up there. Crown, you can practice using the whole top of your head to focus point, like a plate on the top of your head. But there's also, right there, a little bit of opening right there, that kind of like a string that goes up. Good morning in Irish. Nice, thank you. Thank you for saying that, Charlie. Appreciate that. I've never been able to sense my chakras. It takes a lot of time, MG. You just have to keep your mind focused there. Pick one. If you pick one, this is the easiest one to open. You pick this one, you stay here. Don't bother with your other ones. Just stay here. All your breaths out and in and out and in. Focus here, focus here. And what happens is I'm picking up my blanket because my knees are cold. What happens is that over time, you get to see an eye, like a dot. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's white in the middle, and maybe there's a space around it, and maybe there's a gold rim around a little bit bigger. Um, don't try to grasp it. Just look at it and focus here. The one of the promises that Yogananda made in Autobiography of a Yogi is that the practice of Kriya Yoga, which is a practice of looking at your chakras. And so the centering prayer contemplative meditation practice I use combines Kriya Yoga in it. And by looking at my chakras with my practice, the science of Kriya Yoga naturally opens the chakras without effort. And all you need to do is stare at them. And as I said, the easiest one to find in your prefrontal lobe, right there is the prefrontal lobe, like the most important part of your brain, right there. And this is what you're using and to aim right here. MG, eventually you will see it if you keep looking. Just look there. You're welcome, Carmen. And mostly feel in the third eye area. Yeah, just stay there. It can take years, MG. This practice isn't for today or tomorrow. This practice is a slow burn. It's a slow process of over and over 10,000 breaths. There's a book called Nudge, and I can see the guy's face in my head who wrote it, but 10,000 hours of practice. How did the Beatles make it big in England when they first appeared? Because they had spent 10,000 hours playing in Germany before they got to England. How do the hockey players in Canada get the older hockey players who are born earlier in the year get to be better hockey players than the players born later in the year because they have 10,000 hours faster than the people who are born later in the year. 10,000 hours of practice makes it possible to um, nudge yourself in the direction that you want to go in. Practice, practice. Top of the morning, Charlie. Space, but no distinct colors. Just keep at it, MG. It'll open up on its own. Don't you worry about it. Summer would love to learn more about Kriya Yoga. Not sure how to spell. You spelled it correctly. This is the book. I think it's chapter 26. I'm pretty sure that's the chapter. Yes, chapter 26, The Science of Kriya Yoga, Kriya. Self Realization Fellowship is who, I guess, the descendants, the spiritual descendants of Yogananda. But this book, the autobiography of a yogi, very formative for me in my practice of my meditation life. Let's see, what else am I can't read that like that. Malcolm Gladwell. Thanks, Charles. That's exactly who I was thinking of. And by the way, I was once walking up. Where was I? I was on Amsterdam, like at Amsterdam and 86th, and was stuck between the causeway between the two lanes, and I hung out with Malcolm Gladwell for like 4 minutes. I didn't bother him much. I just was like, "Hey, I love your books." But he was kind of stuck there with me. Just a little side thing. Hey, Wendy, Peter, can you post a favorite link on Kriya Yoga on the comment section below before you post this video, if I can find one? I haven't ever looked for a favorite video, but I will. I will add in to the comments for yesterday and today. The in the comments, meditation made easy, and if I can find a Kriya Yoga video, I will. But I'm going to be running workshops through the New Earth One network on meditative practices and raising your prana, starting fairly soon in the next month. And it will probably be on Sundays, and it will run in a series. And I'll be teaching more intensively the practices themselves instead of just a regular practice like we do here. Belinda, thanks, Kristen. I appreciate this. I appreciate this super chat that you just left me. This is, well, thank you for supporting me as I try to bring this to the world. It's not mine, and I'm not pointing at myself. The finger pointing at the moon. I'm pointing at the moon. I'm pointing at the I am. I'm pointing at your access point to the divine inside of you, so that really, of ultimately, I'm trying to work myself out of a job, so that you don't need someone to teach you. You find this inside yourself. Because this is a lifelong practice. The more you practice this year after year after year, the wider your chakras open, the more silence you find inside yourself, the more you become, as St. Francis said, a channel of peace. Make me a channel of your peace. That's part of my spiritual journey, and it can be part of yours too. Become a channel for the divine. A lot of near death experiencers channel, they're channelers. I'm a channeler too. But what I aim to channel is divine peace, is the divine light itself. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing of myself. And thanks, Charles. Outliers. That's the book I was thinking of. Outliers, not Nudge. That's his other book. Outliers. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Summer and Carmen, thank you both very much. Hey, I love the rainbow in your hair there, Carmen. Um, your morning meditations are so nice. You get up earlier. Thanks. A beautiful way to start the day and take a break. I'm a lonesome cowboy, but I appreciate so much this group meditation. It's good for your soul, Anna. I'm glad to say that. I'm glad to say that you wrote. Lonesome cowboys can find solace in the company of others in meditation practice. And you might want to check out our Sunday Mystic Tea Salon, where mystics gather. We had about 36 people there yesterday. Group wisdom, a place to discuss and to consider your own mystical life, and with the wisdom of the group that's gathered there to help us guide ourselves through the process of being a human being while our souls are actually in heaven. And thanks, MG. Appreciate that. Up there in Canada. Um, I'm down here in Maine, just across the border. Have a wonderful day. You too, Catherine, Karen Elise, intense meditation today. Thanks to our group. Yeah, the more we gather together, and you can feel that I'm like waking up now from my meditation. I'm getting more energized. That's what happens to me. I get like juiced for the day. Um, yeah, the more we gather together with an intense in a group, intensive group meditation, the more intensive our individual meditations become, because that is the way that the divine works. Where two or three are gathered, Jesus was not making that up. That's the experience of spirituality in the world. We combine the light between us and we all glow brighter because of it. It's just this beautiful system. Uh, the peace found you this morning again, Kristen. I'm so glad to hear that. I try to push that peace out. I try to push that out. You can find it inside yourself. The more we push it inside ourselves, the quieter we become inside ourselves, the more it just flows right from us, between us, among us, and within us. Thanks, MG. Um, Thanks, Belinda. Send you love, says Anna. All right, we're over time. Thanks everyone for coming. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't. That's super helpful for YouTube. Loves all that stuff. Peace be with you. Hey, Thas, slow burn. Yeah, brother. Over there in South Africa. Slow burn it is. It's a slow burn practice for the rest of your life. You got the whole life to practice this. Uh, Corley, I feel rather the same, Anna. So what are you guys saying? I must have missed something that you're saying back here. You're lonesome, but you appreciate this group. Meditate. So I was going to sign off, but I got to say this. Um, Spiritual life, a mystical spiritual life is alone. I'm using my to myself. It's a lonesome life. It's a lonesome life because it's taboo in most cultures around the world. It's been repressed in most cultures around the world, especially religious cultures. They've been shoved it off to the side. So it is a lonesome life, but there are people, and part of my purpose in being open about this now, after keeping it a secret for so many decades, is because I got lonesome too. I was lonesome too. But now with the technology of social media, we can find each other all over the world, and we don't have to be lonesome anymore. We don't. We can find others like ourselves, and this little community of ours is much larger than our little community. There are millions of us who just we haven't found each other yet, and we're just beginning this process now, and social media is helping a great deal. So I know it's lonesome, but we have each other here in our meditative group. We have each other with Not Church. We have each other with the Mystic Tea Salon. And hopefully this sort of practice, this sort of social media practice of meditation and group gathering, hopefully there are other ones springing up all over the world, and that we're not just an isolated group, that there are others all over the world learning to do the same thing. That's my hope. Well, anyway, the inner life is much larger than the outer life. We are part of the spiritual heritage. We are. All right, my friends. Stifling a yawn. Um, Not that you're boring, because you're not. Yo, boy, Ryan, I saw your YouTube show and I did not get to see, but I congratulate you for getting your voice across. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Or sister, depending. Or welcome home, I and you and me. Thank you for this ideal guidance and gathering. Thank you, Em, for saying so. Belinda, thanks for showing up early every single time. We do it all the time. Coralie McKenzie. It's what keeps us coming back for more. Yeah, we do it all the time. She's right. We keep coming back together because it works. I mean, that's the crazy thing. If it didn't work, it would fall apart. It works, and so we get fed. We feed each other. We become channels of spiritual food for each other. And because it works, it gets passed down for centuries. It gets passed down for centuries and centuries. And if it didn't work, it wouldn't get passed down. That's the beauty of it. Mystic Tea Salon. How have I missed it? Melissa, go to peterpanagore.love and look under programs, and you'll find the link. Sundays at 11 Eastern time, following Not Church. And you're quite welcome to come. I hope to see you there. We're a great group. We feed each other. It's group wisdom. I'm more of a facilitator. A salon is a gathering where an individual provides opportunity for other individuals to have conversation. So this is a salon. And so it's not about me being the speaker. It's about everybody bringing their wisdom, and they do. That's the beauty of it. I learned from Charlie yesterday. Charlie brought some things that taught me yesterday how to improve my practice. And so it's just this beautiful collective. Right after Not Church, 4 p.m. Irish time, says Charlie. Thanks, brother. Melissa can do. All right, Belinda, everybody, it's time for me to sign off. Been on for 46 minutes, and I got to get moving in my day here. Get some work done. Peace and love. The namaste, just to let you know, the namaste thing, I, the, the divine in me sees the divine in you. That's what this is. I see the light inside you. Peace and love to you all. Thanks for coming. See you here on Wednesday. Tomorrow on Tuesday, we meet at 9 o'clock. Also, you can find that link at peterpanagore.love. And that's a Zoom link. And we do a Zoom gathering instead of a Facebook gathering. I'll see you there. Thanks, Thas, MG, Charlie. Peace and love to you all. Ciao. Hasta luego. Peace.